Hello everybody, Davide aka Panzer speaking here. Today we are talking about this, the Asetek THORP brake cylinder and how to make it smooth again. So, if you're watching this video, you probably have one of those. I actually have three, and this is a funny story, but let's talk about this later. So this is a brake cylinder that now Asetek, I don't think they sell it anymore. Perhaps they have still some units in the warehouse. Perhaps they sell it again. But I mean, they released a new one that is THORP II. But there are a lot of people still having the first generation THORP. That is actually a very nice brake. It's not for everyone because it has a very short travel. And it's very hard. With the soft elastomer, you still need around 80 kilos of braking force to actually enjoy it fully, because you would engage the second stage. And that was the main complaint about this brake. But it was usually praised for the smoothness. But one that, for me, that I'm a user of this brake, one is my biggest problem with it is that it was smooth, but it stopped being smooth after very little. You will find on the Asetek Discord or around the web complaints about the notchiness of this brake cylinder. And when you start using it, it's not notchy, and actually it's very smooth and satisfying. But after a while, it starts to develop really a feeling that you have a notch during the travel, and that after you have like a build-up of pressure and then it gives up, okay? And I got used to it because it's a common complaint. Actually, at the beginning it's very subtle, you live with that. But over time it builds up. 2 months ago I went to the Sim Racing Expo and I tried a lot of different pedals. And when I came back, I jumped in my rig and I thought two things. Oh wow, I really love the force feedback of my Conspeed RS Platinum. And that's not because it is a good bass. It is a very good bass and it has excellent force feedback, but a lot of other basses on the markets are also excellent, so it's very hard to pick. But it was set for me. After trying a lot of rigs set in very different ways, you really realize that the game changer is actually tune the force feedback for you more than actually changing manufacturer. And the second thing was like, oh damn, my brake is sluggish. It's like I got used to have it very notchy. So I wrote Asetek and I told them, look, I have your product and it starts to be notchy, and I sent them also a video where I show them that without elastometers there's a bit of notchy feeling in the middle. And they were very reactive. They just told me, okay, your unit is toast, you can dispose it, we already arranged the shipment for a new one. I say, oh, great. But I wasn't fully convinced about this, that there was no solution for that. Because my unit, I used it for more than a year. It's actually, no, it's not this one, it's this one. As I said, I have three, one on my pedal and, and two outside. It's this one, the original one. It actually can still reach max pressure. It has no losses of pressure, no oil spilling, nor anything. And one thing that this brake cylinder is known for is that it's quite resilient about leakages. So there are units that leak after a while, usually after a couple of years, but compared to other hydraulic brakes, it doesn't tend to leak a lot. And I never had this problem. So I said, I think that we can do something about it. And actually, I looked into the web, but I didn't find so much. I found an interesting topic of a guy that lubricated the back, and actually it helped significantly. But now that I played a bit with it, I can actually make 3 recommendations to make your Asetek THORP battery smooth again, because this brake cylinder can be made smooth again, even if after 2 to 4 weeks it will probably start developing again a tiny bit of notchiness that will increase over time. That is the annoying part, that you have to repeat the operations. I would say, depending on how much you play, it can be 2, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, but sometimes you have to do some maintenance about it. So, what are these 3 steps? The first one, it's very simple, and is actually suggested by Asetek itself. It's like to lubricate the front shaft. Let's see if the autofocus get it right. So I'm talking about this. it's not getting it right, but you have a perception of what I'm talking about. You have to lubricate around, basically very close to the main body of the cylinder, with the straw of PTFE dry lubricant. That is what Asetek suggests. You make the shaft a bit oily, you try to, with a bit of pressure, to get inside, and after you lubricate it at least, you clean the excess around and use the pedal a few times so it gets in. And this is already an improvement, but in my case it only improved a tiny bit the feeling. Then, what are the second and third step? There is an annoying part. You have to get on the back of the brake, I mean basically the front of your rig, and not everybody has access to the front very easily. For example, in my case there's the wall, so I have to jump on the rig and do some athletic stuff to get there. So what you have to do is actually, the second step is to lubricate also the back shaft. Okay. Let's remove the nuts. I made it drop. So let's see if you can get it right. Okay, you see inside the cylinder, there's this shaft. Okay, this shaft, that is basically a long screw, moves back and forth. Okay, and it gets inside the cylinder. If you put your straw inside, very close to the center, you can lubricate the moving parts. I suggest to do to spray multiple times from the top, from below, from the sides, so you're sure that the lubricant gets in. I also suggest to use these very tiny gaps that you cannot see here, but there are tiny gaps between this part and this part of the brake cylinder. There are gaps, okay? And you can actually put the straw very close to it and fill these gaps. And this will help to get the oil there. Of course, clean all the excesses and still give some push on the pedal. And this will make the lubricant gets in place. Then, with a bit of paper, dry from the lubricant, wait a bit that the lubricant will dry out. Then with a bit of paper, remove the excess from the internal wall of this chamber, and also from the very end of the chamber, because at the end you only want the thread of only want this shaft to be lubricated. And then there's the final part, the elastomer. One of the elastomer can give you a bad feeling while especially releasing the brake, and some feeling of stickiness and notchiness. And usually it's dirt. I tried to lubricate with PTFE lubricant, also this, but I didn't have success with that. Actually, after using lubricant, it got more sticky, it had a bad feeling. But a better strategy is actually to clean it. So you take the elastomer, or the yellow one is probably more visible. You wash it with some gentle hand soap and water and make it dry very well, and then you put it back. This will help. So if you do these 3 steps, the brake should feel as new. And in my case it does. And I tried it for more than one brake cylinder. And you don't have to replace it, hopefully. It's still a bit annoying because this is it's a good brake, but it requires a bit more maintenance. I mean, it's not that it's broken if you don't do it, but the feeling gets worse. But if you every 4 weeks do this kind of operations that are a bit annoying, especially working on the rear side of THORP is annoying, you will have a consistent smooth feeling from the brake. And yeah, that's basically it. One, like say, bonus point. One thing that THORP does is be noisy. In general, the Asetek pedals are noisy because the stops of all the pedals are hard, and because this nut that when got on close to the body of THORP simulate the second stage, it's metal on metal, so it's quite noisy. I found a solution for that. I don't know if you can see it. So this is a plastic washer that a friend of mine 3D printed for me. And actually I have many of different thickness. This is 2 millimeters and this is 1 millimeter. That's the one that I use. and I can show you it basically perfectly fit the nut. Let's see if the autofocus does its magic. I think so. What is the diameter of this? So basically, internal diameter is 28.3 millimeters. The 0.3 millimeters was added to make it smooth to fit, because if it doesn't fit well, it might crack. And the external diameter is 36 millimeters. The thickness is whatever you want. I have 1 and 2 millimeters washers, and you just put it here, and it will make it significantly less noisy. And I had this problem that I play, basically the family below me, the room where I play, sleeps there. And of course, I mean, they're very nice people, but they told me, Davide, when you play in the late evening, we hear you, we hear a lot of clicks, so if you can do something, and makes sense, a very, very reasonable request. So I did something, I put some rubber strips on the hard stops of the pedals, and for the brake I did this, and it works, and I suggest you to do so. The only downside is that now this nut is 1 millimeter thicker, and this means that your travel on the brake on the pedal plates will be reduced between 2 and 2.5 millimeters, and it's already a short travel. Doesn't bother me. I got used to it basically immediately, but yeah, it's a thing to consider. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, to the next one. Have a great day and keep on racing.